Well, vehicle dynamics has been important since, I don't know, over 100 years now, and will continue to be important. The field of dynamics in general is important. Maybe vehicle dynamics, or in the future if we have, I don't know, drone type flying taxis or flying cars, human dynamics of that will be important. So anything that human sits in and moves, the dynamics of that is always going to be important. So what Hexagon offers is a combination of simulation tools as well as testing and manufacturing equipment to what is so-called turnkey solution in some regard. So my specialty lies in the simulation tools, which can simulate the performance of any mechanical system, in this case a vehicle, using the physics-based equations of motion, and then predicting how the vehicle will behave, not on the road but in the computer, so that it can be understood for its performance without having to build it. So electronic components add a level of smartness to the system that we have, right? They will add sometimes some closed loop controls. They will look ahead and predict, let's say, road, and maybe adjust the suspension parameters ahead of time. So all those things that are going to be taken care of by control systems. If you want to build a high fidelity model in a virtual environment, so-called the digital twin of physical system, then you will probably have to include the controls in the model as well. If you want to take that into account, the reaction time of the controls and the response of the system to it, then all of that needs to be included. But if you are interested purely in the dynamic aspect without having to involve controls, then that's also a reasonable approach to simulating. Typically IC engines, if you think of IC engines and compare it to EVs, you can imagine that you think of something that is vibrating a lot versus something that is not vibrating as much. So that is the dynamics of the prime mover, so-called prime mover, is fundamentally different, and hence all the sound signatures and the ride signatures are also different. So recently I heard an interview where the person said that EV is not the future, EV is the present, and the future is going to be fuel cells. So when we go to something like a fuel cell, maybe it still needs a motor to run. So I think the amount of shift that we are seeing from IC engines to EVs, that amount of shift in dynamics from EVs to fuel cells will be much less, I think, because it will be much closer to each other. So we'll be better prepared that time.